Hey, welcome back to another video. Decided to do my makeup while I chit chat because that'll prevent me from crying because I'm a big old crybaby. How do you even start a video off like this? So yeah, my parents died when I was 5 years old, right? I was a toddler. Mind you, I have 6 other siblings. Luckily, my grandmother decided to take custody of all of us so we could all stay in the same household and everything. With my parents passing at such a young age, it honestly did not hit me at that age because I was so young. I was only 5 years old. Most of the things I remember is from like videos and pictures. Luckily, my family was a family that took a lot of videos. Like we had like the little camcorder thing, the one you hold like this and then you got the camera like that. As I got older, you know, I started to watch those videos and I really got to know more about my parents because like I said, I was so young. So you know, when you're young, some things are blurred because you're so young, like your mind doesn't even have the space to remember everything. So when my mom died, I was young at that age, so I didn't really know. But as I started getting older, I started realizing the importance of having a 2-parent household, right? And I feel like that's when it really started to hit me as I got older, because I started seeing my friends with their parents, and you know, they'll go out with their parents like to the movies and stuff, and I'm just like, you know, like I can't do that because my parents aren't here. My grandmother was a church body, so after a while we had to go to church because she just wasn't going for that. Like my grandma was a saint, baby. She was at Bible study every Wednesday, choir rehearsal on Tuesday, prayer meetings on Monday, church service on Sunday, pre-service on Saturday, prayer lines on the phone on Friday. My grandma was not one of them gals. She served the Lord. And I honestly am so grateful for that because I feel like that's another reason, like, she drew me closer to God and she gave me a reason to want to get back into my relationship with God, because once I fell out the first time, I was upset. Because why would you take my parents? So after a while, you know, I started getting my groove back. I was still questioning God as to why he took my parents. That's another reason why I wanted to get closer to God, was because I really wanted to know, and I was really hoping that he would give me the discernment I need to understand why he took my parents from me at such a young age. Like, what was the reason behind it? Everything happens for a reason. I just wanted to know the reason, because why would you do that? Once I started getting back in church, you know, life was going good. You know, he started answering some of my prayers. I'm like, okay, maybe you're not that bad. Maybe I should have just gave you another chance, you know? Oh, y'all know when life get good, something about to pop off. 2018, my grandma passed. That tragedy hit me hard. Losing my grandma was even harder than me losing my parents. Why? Because, mind you, I was only 5 when I lost my parents, so I couldn't remember all the experiences and stuff that we had. When I lost my grandmother, I remembered more, like all the experiences, the laughs, the giggles, the cries, the hugs, you know, everything. Like, that was like my second mom. I kid you not. The craziest thing about that day that I got the phone call from my sister, I was in hair school at that time. And something that, y'all, I kid you not, something that they told me to not go to school today, so I stayed home. If I had went to school that day, I don't even know. But everything happens for a reason. It's so crazy to me. I questioned God again. I said, what is you up there doing? I then started going to church, reading my word, tithing, getting right with God. And then you decide to take my grandmother from me? That's what we doing? I was just doing anything to get my mind off of the situation, right? It was just getting real bad. I was driving one night, grieving, listening to my music. Y'all know when you had them late night drives, and I didn't want to stop. I did not want to stop the car because I'm thinking, like, I'm already to myself. Like, I don't have any friends. I'm always to myself, quiet and reserved. No one will probably even miss me, you know what I mean? Not me about to cry on this camera. I always said I wasn't gonna be the girl that was gonna be boo-hooing on camera, but let's get together, girl. I'm still here today by the grace of God. It's crazy because I'm living in one of my dreams. That one smacked me right there. That one smacked me in the face. Oh, y'all see what words can do to you? That's why it's so important to speak life over your life and speak good things. That one word just got me boo-hooing crying. Like, I'm living in one of my dreams. Anyways, y'all, I'm done crying. We back. I'm good. We good. I'm back. Let me tell y'all about something. So I used to take the bus. I used to take the bus back and forth to my job and back home, right? And I used to have to pass by this church at the corner of my street every day. One of the volunteers there, he, you know, waved at me across the parking lot and was like, "You coming into church?" I was like, "No, I'm not." And I told him, you know, I'm like, I'm not even dressed for church. I still had on my work clothes and everything, y'all. So, but yeah, but he was like, "Girl, come on in here to church." I'm like, so me being me, I'm like, okay, I hate to say no. So I'll go in. When the church service was over, this older lady, she had stopped me. And she said, "Can I hug you?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, you know, why not?" She started praying for me. And y'all, I was boohooing crying because I've never met this lady. She's never met me. But she literally prayed for everything that I was going through. Like, she knew me. Like, I wrote down my prayer request to her. Like, and I was going home. I was walking down the street like, oh God. I was walking down the street boo-hooing real bad. The moment I'm like, okay, I gotta get back in church because maybe that was God speaking to me. So the Sunday after that, I joined that specific church, and I was getting to know God for myself. You know, at first I was knowing God through my grandmother, only because she had to make sure we were at church. So we were just going because she made us go. But once I started to know God for myself, I wanted to go myself. Like, I was getting up every Sunday walking to church in my heels. Like, I was, yes. I had my Bible book, my purse in the other hand, and I was walking to church every Sunday to go worship and just to go give God the glory in spite of the things that was happening in my life. Everything happens for a reason. You might not see it at the moment, but after a while, it'll all reveal itself to you. I honestly feel like losing my parents and my grandmother, it did draw me so much closer to God. Later, that was when I decided to quit my job and I started my business full-time. I was finally getting to understand life a little bit more. I wasn't grieving as much. A lot of people ask me, how do you cope? How do you grieve? You're never going to be okay with it. You just learn how to cope with it. Once I started with the business and I started seeing my clientele grow and stuff like that and my community grow, it hit me. It finally hit me as to why I needed to stay on this earth. I have a lot of women that actually look up to me. And it's still surprising me to this day. Just so grateful for the community that I have today. This is very different for me. I don't really like talking about personal stuff like that. But this was really on my heart to share. Hopefully this video finds the right person. I'm praying that it does. Life gets better. You don't know the plans God has for you. Only God knows the plans he has for you. It's okay to question him, but don't let that one experience make you just give up on God, because he ain't gave up on you. That's my story time on how losing my parents has changed my life. Hopefully this video reaches the people it needs to reach. I'm really hoping it does. If you don't take nothing else from this video, I want you to know I love you, and you have other people who love you as well. Keep going after what you want to go after. Keep God first. Keep God first. Do not give up on God, even though things may look like he ain't doing what he doing. Whatever happened was meant to happen. It's all gonna come together at the end. And I hope something I said in this video really spoke to your heart. And I will see you next time. Bye.